Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Haryanto Diman. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you will not miss an episode. It was meant to be a photo on Instagram of herself and her friends wearing cheongsams during Chinese New Year. But the horror when Ms. Jordilia Tan found out that the same picture appeared online showing them in lingerie instead. That photoshopped picture was later circulated in a Telegram chat group. Police are now investigating the chat group called SG WikiLeaks that had other revealing doctored pictures of Asian women and girls in compromising positions. The group claims that some of these women are Singaporean. SG WikiLeaks is allegedly linked to the administrators who ran SG Nasi Lemak, which made headlines in 2019 for also hosting obscene photos and videos of women. That said, it's still not known where SG WikiLeaks is based. According to crime figures for 2022, which are out today, outrage of modesty cases jumped 9.2% from 2021. And this type is one of 5 main crimes of concern identified by the police. The other 4 are voyeurism, shop theft, theft in dwelling and rioting. Some 20,100 physical crime cases were reported, and while that's lower than the pre-COVID-19 years, it's still a 4.4% increase from 2021. The rise is attributed to the resumption of physical social activities as Singapore emerged from the pandemic. A big measure outlined in Budget 2023 to help support new parents was the doubling of the existing government-paid paternity leave from 2 to 4 weeks. Announcing this during Tuesday's budget statement, Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Lawrence Wong says employers can choose to grant the extra 2 weeks on a voluntary basis for a start. It continues a gradual increase in paternity leave from a week back in 2013 to 2 in 2017. Now, if you're a working father, would you dare to take up the full 4 weeks? I'm now joined by education correspondent Amelia Teng, who also covers parenting. Amelia, first off, as a young mother yourself, surely you've spoken with your husband about this issue. How do both of you feel about it?
Well, it doesn't really help us sadly at all because it only applies to babies born from next year. But for sure, if there were an extra 2 weeks of paternity leave, my husband would have gladly taken it up. The initial weeks after childbirth can be a really difficult time for any parent who knows what sleep deprivation is like. So any extra helping hands, especially from the father, would have been useful.
Is there a desire by male workers for the additional 2 weeks of paternity leave? Are dads willing to take this up?
So the latest figures in Singapore show that about half of fathers took paternity leave. So it's an improvement from before, but it also makes you think what's stopping the rest of the fathers from using this leave. So not much research has been done as to find out the reasons why, but one study by NUS has suggested that there might be class differences at work, and so less educated fathers as well as those with less household income were not as likely to take the paternity leave compared to those who were from more affluent families. Another reason could be the type of jobs that fathers were in. So those who were in more labor-intensive sectors, such as machine operators or cleaners, they were significantly less likely to take the 2-week leave compared with those who were like legislators or senior officials or managers in PMET type of jobs. So while fathers may desire to take time off to look after their babies, a huge factor is also their work environment and how enlightened their employers are.
Amelia, what you've just said, on top of that as well, there are unwritten societal and cultural expectations that the father should be the breadwinner in the family. Do you feel there might be what's been called a motherhood penalty applying to fathers as well?
So yes, there is that danger with the paternity leave being extended. So I spoke to this NUS sociologist, Vincent Chua, who said that mothers have typically borne the brunt of this parenthood penalty for decades, meaning they are penalized for taking time off for family, especially in the early years of the child's lives. And this means being labeled as unmotivated or less committed to work. So the worry is that as fathers soon start to take more time off from work for home duties, they might also face these same labels and pay a price at work. And this is especially so for fathers when this goes against gender stereotypes, like men supposedly being more active at work, or that caregiving is not a man's job.
On the employer side, has there been much buy-in by employers open to the additional 2 weeks of paternal leave? What have been the biggest concerns?
It's been a day since the announcement. So since then, what we have heard is that the Public Service Division, which is Singapore's biggest employer, has taken the lead by allowing all public officers, male public officers, to apply for the extra 2 weeks from January 1st, 2024. So hopefully more in the private sector will follow suit. Still, there is a general sense that, according to MPTD, that amongst certain businesses in some sectors, and especially those who are SMEs, there is still some uneasiness about allowing their male employees to take a longer time of paternity leave, or for some, whether to even let them go on the leave at all. And this is because of reasons such as the pressures of a tight labor market and a challenging economy that make it harder for smaller firms to kind of like make up for when staff are away for a longer time. So at the same time, what we hear is also that companies are grappling with a flexible work arrangement requests, which a lot of employees are asking for now. So that they are, they're having parallel changes and trying to deal with both at the same time. So hopefully the next few months, because this only kicks in from next year, will help employers to make the necessary adjustments. And at the end of the day, I also think that employers need to see how giving people time off for family commitments will also benefit them in the long run, because it helps employees be more productive at work, knowing that family is being taken care of, and it also increases their levels of commitment, loyalty to a company, and motivation at work.
Thank you very much for the sharing. Education correspondent Amelia Teng there. Now you can read her story on this at straitstimes.com. And how do you feel about the extra paternity leave? We want to hear from you in the comments. Visit our YouTube channel as well for more videos. Now remember to subscribe by clicking the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.